some sporting events are becoming less popular, like the Olympics, the Super Bowl, or the World Series, but others, like the men's and women's football World Cups, rugby, and cricket World Cups, are on the rise. Many golf courses in countries like Great Britain are closing. Swimming is growing in some areas and shrinking in others. In some cases, pools are beginning to close permanently. Will swimming pools close in the next few years, or will we see more and better swimming pools? In my city, this winter, we only had one swimming pool open for almost 1 million people. Sure, this year was abnormal, but every year for as long as I can remember, only 2 or 3 pools out of 20 will stay open during the winter. In contrast, Cleveland has 40 public swimming pools for a population of nearly 400,000. They are also open year-round and have much colder winters than here in Mexico. It is no secret that swimming pools are just like any other business. They will stay open only if they are profitable. The perfect swim workout for many of us is having our own lane for 1 to 2 hours at a time. How much do you think it would cost you to rent a lane every time you swim? We have rented lanes in Thailand, Spain, the United States, and Mexico for our swimming camps. We have also dreamed of building our own swimming pool, so we have a very good idea of how much it costs. Prices range from $17 to $30 per lane per hour. Obviously, it's cheaper if you pay the whole month and if the profits are divided with other activities of those sport facilities. In our pool, we think we can get that number down to $1 per lane per hour, or 50 cents if you share it with someone else. We believe this is only feasible with cutting-edge technologies like the ones Myrtha Pools use and innovating swimming events. The older a pool is, the higher the costs. The pool floor begins to leak water after being used for decades. Old pumps, lights, and heating systems are much less efficient and expensive. That is why it is estimated that almost half of the swimming pools in England will close by 2030 if the government doesn't help them. They are built in the 1960s and 70s. In 2018 and 19, we swam in a pool with very few people. We always had 1 lane per person. It was beautiful. They weren't profitable, so they had to shut down. Sure, some people have endless pools or a nice pool in their backyard that will never close, but that is not a possibility or a substitute for most swimmers. Pools need swimmers to survive. The more swimmers per lane, the cheaper it is for everyone. Looking at the surveys, we know that some of you don't want swimming to become more popular because it means more crowded pools and less comfortable swimming. Clearly, there is a sweet spot where there are enough swimmers to keep the pool reasonably priced, but not so many that it is impossible to swim breaststroke without kicking someone. I have done a lot of research, and the data is still complicated. Open water swimming grew during the pandemic, and we believe it will continue to grow, but it is not a possibility for many people either. According to our YouTube survey, there are more pools opening than closing. On Instagram, the results are the opposite by a very small margin. According to television media, especially those in the United States, the audience for the Olympic Games is shrinking considerably. But according to the Olympic Committee, the Tokyo 2020 Games broke a record for the largest audience. Generation Z is now the biggest generation today, and they are not watching TV. On social media, competitive swimming has a very limited reach among children, but in the older generation, in some countries, the audience grew because the coverage of the Olympics and other competitions is of better quality and at a price almost free. In recreational swimming, obviously, the last 2 years have seen a decrease in participation, but we also became more aware of the importance of health with our sedentary lifestyle. With increasing numbers of anxiety, depression, obesity, and the large population of aging baby boomers looking for a safe sport, we predict that the swimming community will grow in the next decades, but we will not dare to predict what the new generations will do to it. Even with the growth in audiences 25 and older, the decline in underage audiences means fewer kids dream of being professional swimmers. This translates into fewer coaches, less money for innovation, and fewer brand sponsorships. But that doesn't mean the trend will continue downward with Generation Z. Things can change. Formula One is an excellent role model. It is our job, the swimming community, to educate youngsters on the importance of moving and holding their breath in the water. After all, it might help them play video games better. We might even have to change the rules of competitive swimming to make it more attractive. Just look at the 3 of the fastest growing sports in recent years that evolved from traditional sports: pickleball, paddle, and foot golf. If you're new to swimming and you want to start learning faster, click on this playlist. If you want to know if swimming improves performance in other sports, click here. If it's not available yet, click here to subscribe. If you want to visit our webpage, click here. See you there. Swim fast.